This is week one of Stop Guessing, Start Knowing, and we're building this thing step by step. Monday, I tracked every dollar for 30 days and found 807 are leaking per month. If you haven't watched that yet, pause this and go back, because today only makes sense once you can actually see where your money's going. Here's the obvious next question. Now what? You know where your money's going. How do you actually direct it without spending 3 hours on a spreadsheet you'll abandon in 2 weeks? The answer is the 50-30-20 budget. 7 minutes to set up, 3 categories, flexible enough to survive real life. And it's the only budget I've ever seen work for people who say, I'm just not a budget person. Let me show you exactly how it works. Here's the thing. Most budgets fail for the same reason most diets fail. Too complicated, too restrictive, too much guilt. You download an app, it has 47 spending categories. You're supposed to distinguish groceries from household supplies from personal care items. By day 4, you're behind on logging. By day 17, you've quit entirely. That 17-day number isn't made up. Studies on budgeting apps consistently show the average user stops actively tracking after about 2.5 weeks. The budget didn't fail because you're bad with money. It failed because the system was exhausting. The 50-30-20 rule does the opposite of what every budgeting guru tells you. It uses fewer categories, not more. 3, that's it. Everything you spend fits into one of 3 buckets, and the percentages aren't random either. Senator Elizabeth Warren, before she was in politics, co-wrote a book in 2005 with her daughter, Amelia Warren Tyagi, called All Your Worth. They studied thousands of families who had actually built lasting wealth. The pattern they found across every income level was strikingly simple. Keep your must-haves under 50, give yourself 30% for wants, and save at least 20%. That's the whole system. Let's break down each bucket. Needs are the bills you have to pay to keep your life running. And I mean actually have to pay, not I need Netflix to relax after work. Here's what counts. Rent or mortgage, utilities, basic groceries, transportation to work, minimum debt payments, insurance, and essential healthcare. If you lost your job tomorrow and had to cut everything to the bone, what stays? That's your needs bucket. Everything in this bucket should total no more than 50% of your after-tax income, not your gross salary, the number that actually hits your bank account. Now, if you live in a high-cost city and rent alone eats 45% of your take-home pay, I'm not going to pretend this is easy. The 50-30-20 is a target, not a punishment. If you're at 60% needs right now, that's your starting point. The goal is to push it down over time, not feel like you've already failed. But here's the part that stings. When I first ran my own numbers through this, I thought my needs were around 45%. The actual number was 50, and the gap was things I'd convinced myself were necessities. That $39.99 premium phone plan versus a $25 basic one, that's not a need. That $120 grocery run where $30 was snacks and prepared meals, half of that was wants dressed up as needs. Be honest with this bucket. It's the foundation. This is the category that makes people uncomfortable. Because once you've defined your needs honestly, everything else goes into wants. And 30% is not as much room as you think. Restaurants, entertainment, streaming services, hobbies, travel, and new clothes. When you already own clothes, gym memberships, gifts, all wants. Every single one. But here's the part most people miss. Wants are not optional in this budget. The 30% is not spend less if you can be disciplined. It's you are allowed, encouraged to spend this. That's the genius of this system. Most budgets treat discretionary spending like a moral failure. You're supposed to feel guilty about every restaurant meal, every concert ticket, and that's exactly why people quit. Nobody can sustain a budget that treats joy like a sin. The 30% bucket gives you permission. As long as you're hitting your 20% savings and staying under 50% on needs, that 30% is yours. No guilt, no tracking down to the penny. Eat out, buy the concert tickets, enjoy your money. The trade-off is you have to be honest about what's a want. The $300 work wardrobe upgrade when your closet is full, want. The $150 monthly car detailing, want. The vacation you put on a credit card because you earned it, so a want. And one that's eating next month's 30% before you've earned it, This is the bucket everyone skips. And I get why. When money's tight, savings feels like the easiest line to cut. Rent is due now. Retirement that's 30 years away can wait. But here's what Warren and Tiagi actually found in their research. The families who built real wealth, not just high incomes, actual net worth, all did one thing consistently. They treated savings like a bill, non-negotiable, paid first, not whatever was left over. The 20% bucket covers four things: emergency fund, retirement contributions, extra debt payments beyond minimums, and investments. If 20% feels completely out of reach right now, start where you are, 5%, then 10. The percentage matters far less than the habit. What kills wealth building isn't starting small. It's waiting for someday when things are less tight. Someday doesn't come. The people who build wealth are the ones who started at $50 a month when $50 actually hurt. One important distinction: debt payments above the minimum go in this bucket, not needs. Your minimum credit card payment is a need. You have to pay it to stay current. Anything extra you throw at the principal? That's savings. You're buying back your future income. Here's your setup. Screenshot this. Minute 1 to 2. Pull up your last full month of take-home pay. Write down that number. That's your 100%. Minute 2 to 4. List every bill you must pay to survive. Rent, utilities, groceries, transport, insurance, minimum debt. Total them. Divide by your take-home pay. Is it under 50%? Over? Just know the number. And at 4 to 5, multiply your take-home pay by 0.3. That's your wants budget. Compare it to last month's actual spending on restaurants and subscriptions, shopping, entertainment. If there's a gap, you now know exactly where your money went. Minute 5 to 7, multiply your take-home pay by 0.2. That's your savings target. If you're not hitting it, don't panic. Pick one thing to change this month. Cancel one subscription. Pack lunch 3 days a week, move $50 into a separate savings account. One thing. This is not about getting it perfect immediately. It's about building a system you'll still be using 6 months from now. Because a simple budget you actually follow beats a perfect budget you abandon on day 17. Here's my question for you. Drop it in the comments. When you ran your numbers just now, which bucket surprised you the most? Needs, wants, or savings? And was it higher or lower than you expected? Be honest. Put it below. I read every comment on these first week videos because this is the foundation everything else builds on. If this helped you see your money differently, hit subscribe. This is week 1 of Stop Guessing, Start Knowing, a complete money system built for real paychecks, not trust funds. New videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. We're just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.